Jeff Burton set to join us, longtime NASCAR driver, NBCSN's NASCAR America. He works on that program and is going to be filling in for Tony Stewart this weekend in Michigan. And Jeff joins us now. Jeff, when did you get the call to replace Tony?
Well, they called Wednesday morning, without a, 100% decision of what was going to happen, but just, kind of was I interested in helping. And then as the day went along, we still didn't have an answer, but started preparing in case Tony did make that decision. And so it all started, early Wednesday morning.
When's the last time you raced?
I actually raced, I ran the race in New Hampshire in July. And I ran, prior to that, I ran in Vegas in March. I've done a lot of testing for Michael Waltrip Racing, so been in the car a lot, just haven't been racing a lot.
When's the last time you spoke with Tony Stewart?
I haven't spoken to Tony. I've, Tony's, he's, with his friends and family and just trying to, get his head together, I guess is the best way to say it. And I haven't had conversation with Tony. I've spoken to people that are close to Tony, but Tony and I haven't actually spoken.
It's easy for us to be able to look at this video on this dirt track and surmise something happened. What happened? We can have projections, but you're a driver. I don't know how much dirt track driving you've done, but what did you see when you saw that video?
Well, honestly, I saw a tragic accident. I mean, I think that to try to speculate about what happened, no matter how much experience you may or may not have, you weren't Kevin Ward and you weren't Tony Stewart, so it's really hard to speculate on that. And I think it's dangerous to speculate. But and then I'm gonna turn it right around and tell you that it honestly looks to me as just a tragic accident. And a lot of things went wrong at the right time, so to speak, and you got the result that you got.
But Jeff, why has the sport allowed drivers to confront other drivers while the race is going on, whether it's throwing a helmet? Here we are during a caution lap. NASCAR, well, they've allowed this to happen.
This. Yeah, well, I'll say this. We've had for years and years and years. We've had drivers throw a helmet at somebody while they're in the car. We had drivers take their heat insulation shields off their heels and throw them. We've had drivers gesture to other drivers, those kind of things. And I can't remember, and I'm sure that there has been a case, but I can't remember where we had an incident that someone got hurt or that someone obviously was killed, like we saw last week. So I think when you see those things and there's never a tragic result, then you don't really see the harm in it, right? You let a driver express themselves, and much the way, I know it's different because there's we're in moving vehicles, right? But you see football players get up and push each other and sometimes fight. You see, in hockey, you see people fight. Mm-hmm. In baseball, you see people fight. I think it's kind of that version of it. So, it's in some ways it's no different. It's an athlete showing his emotion. In other ways, the great difference is there's a moving vehicle, and that does separate it. But I'm just not aware of it. We've ever had a situation where we had a driver get injured or hurt or worse yet, killed, expressing themselves. So I think over time, it's part of the sport. You accept it and you just don't see the danger in it. Is
this 1 week or week to week filling in for Tony?
It's I don't know. I don't know how to say that. I mean, we haven't talked about next week whatsoever. This timetable is completely unknown. We just don't know. So this is right now. This is just about Michigan.
As an analyst now, and I guess now part-time driver, what would you want to know if NBC sent you out and you had to sit down with Tony Stewart? What would be the first question you would ask him?
Well, and that's, and Dan, as adjusting into that new role, that's the question I've been asking myself. And I think, the obvious question that everybody wants to know is, what happened that night. And, I think in due time, Tony's going to answer those questions. I don't think that people are going to have to pry those questions. They don't have to pry it out of him, but I don't think Tony feels it's the appropriate time, nor anybody else either. So, you have to ask some hard questions, and but certainly everybody wants to hear Tony account of what happened. And I think in due time, Tony's going to be more than willing to answer this question.
You know Tony well. Do you think he'll give up dirt track?
I don't know. Racing is racing. Tony Stewart is racing. You know what I mean? Like Tony likes to fish and he likes to race. It's his racing is, although it's his profession, it's also his hobby. It's, a lot of people go, work during the day and then they go home and they restore a car or they play softball or they are on a basketball team at the Y or whatever. Tony's, although he makes a living doing it, his deal is racing. And so, I think having said that, I don't know how Tony can just walk away or to be able to walk away from racing. And dirt track racing is at the core of who he is. I mean, NASCAR racing, there's a lot of pressure. There's tons of people around you all the time. You go dirt track racing, it's just a whole nother deal. You're just one of the guys. And although, don't get me wrong, I mean, Tony Stewart's never just one of the guys, but, crew members come hang out with you. And, when the race is over, you might all sit down and drink some beer together. And it's just it's a real social, as much social as it is competition. And Tony loves being in that environment. So
well, good luck.
I just find it hard to believe he wouldn't keep himself in that environment in some form or fashion.
Good luck this weekend, Jeff. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.